Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, I'm broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. My guests are elsewhere. We'll get to them in a second. But just a reminder, if you're looking for a bank that's big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them as a business or as your organization might, but small enough to do it in a personal way, I found that at Renaissance Bank. So check them out, renaissancebank.com. They've got about 200 offices across the Southeast open and ready to serve you, and you will find a live person that answers the phone. Imagine that. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome two old friends, Jason Cline and Sameera Luthur, and they are with SHRM-Atlanta. And Jason, Sameera, it's a delight to have you back.
Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure to be back.
Thank you so much, John.
y'all have, it seems like you set down one piece of big work and then you pick up another one. So we are here to talk about SOAHR 2023, and that's the annual conference for SHRM-Atlanta. But before we get into the details of that, let's just give everyone an update on what's happening at SHRM-Atlanta, Jason.
Sure. Thanks, John. Yes. Welcome, everyone. Hello, I'm Jason Cline. I'm the CEO of SHRM-Atlanta, and we are very excited this year. We have a lot of new things happening, and we'll talk about SOAHR in a little bit, but SOAHR is returning to March. It was in March pre-pandemic, and it's been at other places in the year the last 3 years, but we're excited to have that back. But later on in the year, we're really trying to focus on the breadth of the HR community in Atlanta with the programming that we're putting on. We're planning a DEI conference later in the year. We're also planning an Atlanta Works conference, which will really focus and highlight some of the other areas beyond HR where individuals might serve an HR function within their organization, but may not consider themselves an HR professional. And we're really trying to expand our audience in our network to include those folks that may still need the education that HR services will provide. But like I said, they don't necessarily consider themselves an HR professional.
Because they're spinning a lot of different plates on the sticks, right? In addition to HR. Yeah. And they
People
need
wear a lot
that
of
help.
hats. Yes, they do.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that strikes me about SHRM-Atlanta that really, I'm glad you mentioned that, because what has stood out to me is how helpful the organization is. And I'm not talking about just you as staff, certainly you, but also the membership toward each other, and how individuals that are part of larger organizations are so helpful to that one HR person that's at an organization that just has nobody to talk to. Absolutely.
And that's another, I'm glad you brought that up. That's another area that we're working on, is an HR department of one, or even HR department of none. Some small businesses don't have the resources to hire an HR professional, yet those tasks and responsibilities still fall on someone's shoulders. And, we feel that at SHRM-Atlanta that we can provide some resources to help them in that regard. You mentioned our community is vast and very helpful. We have an online community where people can ask questions of each other, which happens all the time. Somebody out there has probably been through the exact same thing that you have and can offer the help and guidance that they used to utilize whatever challenge that they had to work through in their own workplace. So our community is very helpful. And like you mentioned, they are willing to assist others that have been that are in that situation they've been in themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And just the thought that, hey, I'm an HR department of none, I'm an HR department of one, or even two, I'm a little too small for SHRM-Atlanta, and that's just not true.
Not at all. We have our members run the gamut on the size of the organization, and it doesn't really matter what the size is. The challenges that they face are relatively the same or similar, and the solutions that they can help provide to each other will certainly be able to translate into your organization.
And I think one thing I'll actually add there, Jason and John, I think one thing that's really fun from a staff member perspective, we have really great events like SOAR where we bring hundreds of people together, but we also have events where we have small groups, so 8 to 10 people, maybe 15 people. So really whatever you're looking for, if you really love those big crowds or if you want something kind of smaller and intimate, we offer such a diverse offering of events.
Yeah, and Sameera, you anticipated my next question, which is SHRM-Atlanta brings a lot of resources to the table because of just the size of the organization, and maybe one or both of you can talk about that, just the scope of SHRM-Atlanta as a SHRM chapter.
Sure. We are the largest SHRM chapter in Georgia, and we are in the top 5 or 6 SHRM chapters in the United States. And so with that size comes the ability to provide those resources that maybe other smaller chapters cannot provide. Our service area is the Metro Atlanta area, hence the name SHRM-Atlanta. And we are certainly run the gamut. Like we have our annual conference of SOAR used to be held at the Cobb Galleria, and this year will be at the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth. And we do try to, not only do we have events of different sizes, we try to move them around because of the sheer size of the Metro Atlanta area. We want to make sure that people can participate. If they want to participate in person, that they have a place to do so that is close by at least once or twice a year. And that's why we do move our events around so that we can bring those folks in that do want to do that. But we also have the ability to hold virtual events, which we have done many times. And that brings in those folks that can't get away from work or prefer to join something virtually.
Yeah, that's terrific. So you brought it up, Jason. So let's go there. Let's talk about SOAR 2023 and that new location. That's pretty exciting.
We are very excited about that. The Gas South District Convention Center has recently been renovated, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space, and we're looking forward to that. I'm going to let Sameera talk a little bit about the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are actually exactly 4 weeks away from SOAR. This time in 4 weeks, our staff will be at Gas South, getting everything ready, getting registration together. So our program is going to be 2 full days of learning, but also connections. As I've spent a lot more time really thinking about all the things that we're offering, if I had to pick one word to really describe SOAR, it would be connected. So I think no matter what you're looking for, your learning experiences will happen. But to me, the really big highlight is the amount of connections you're going to be able to make.
Yeah. And, one thing, we don't know, we're 4 weeks away, so we don't know, necessarily how many and who's going to show up and all that kind of stuff. Here's what we do know, right, is that it was exuberant last, I guess it was August, right? Last August, was it August?
I think it was July. Yes.
Okay.
End of July. Mm-hmm.
End of July. Yeah. And so just a few months ago, very exuberant. I think a lot of folks, this was kind of their first big meeting out when that occurred. And we were there doing a live remote. And one of the things that came through to us is just how much people enjoyed being with each other. And I can't imagine that the knob isn't going to get turned up just a little bit more on that this year.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Our community loves to get together. Last year, there was certainly an energy in the room when people walked into whichever session or the exhibit hall with our resource partners. There was just a buzz. And I think, you said it well, it was your first time attending, and I think you felt it as a newcomer as well. So we're certainly looking to expand on that and to bring home that energy for folks that are attending for the first time, but hopefully welcome back folks that were there this last year as well.
For sure. Folks, Jason Cline and Sameera Luthur are with us. They are with SHRM-Atlanta, and we're talking about the SOAR 2023 conference, which will be held about 4 weeks from now at the Gas South District. Be there, or you're going to miss out. So, Sameera, talk about some of the sessions that people ought to be paying attention to. I know last year there were just too many to talk about in one setting, but talk about the ones that stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, we also have so many sessions, I won't be able to highlight all of them, but I think there are a few that I can highlight for sure. So one of our challenges that we're very lucky to have is we have groups coming from all sorts of sectors, companies both large and small and medium. So we try and really kind of filter through our sessions to make sure that no matter where you're at in your career, no matter what your function is in HR, there's something for you to take away. So each day we will have 3 blocks of concurrent sessions. So sessions happening all at the same time, and we are offering 8 concurrent sessions during each block, which is a lot to choose from. Some of those topics are going to range from people and talent management, employee law and compliance, organizational effectiveness, really all of the things on the HR spectrum. So again, no matter what you're looking for, you're going to find something during each of those concurrent session blocks. A couple other things that we're really excited about. So our keynote speaker is going to be Penny Zanker. She really focuses on neuro-linguistic programming. So really thinking about the mind and how you can really work on yourself and interact with others to be your most productive self at work. So there is kind of that mental health and wellness lens to it, but also business and productivity. On the end of day 1 as well, we're going to be doing something different this year. We are going to be hosting a dinner roundtable session. So while we're all sitting and enjoying dinner, we will have some moderated conversation around HR topics. So it is kind of a built-in opportunity, again, to connect with people, but also learn more from your peers all over the Atlanta area. And then we're going to close out on day 2 with a drum cafe, which is an interactive session that will leave everyone feeling really energized, but will also teach lessons on listening, cooperation, and communication. And everyone will get to play a musical instrument and again, leave feeling really energized.
Yeah, those sessions are, she only mentioned a few of them, but if you think about 3 blocks and then 8 sessions per block, that is a lot of content, and it's certainly something that is pertaining to everyone that will attend. We talked a little bit earlier about whatever your role is in your organization, you have the ability to be transformational. And I think that's what a lot of supervisors are looking for, are folks to come in with their own ideas and to bring some things that will transform their organizations for the better. And that's what we are trying to provide with all of our content, is an ability for those folks, no matter what your level is, the ability to come back and be that transformational change in your organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if we haven't convinced folks yet that they need to be at this conference, I mean, it seems like most of the big issues that business are dealing with right now have to do with HR, whether it's talent acquisition, whether it's layoffs, whether it's culture. It seems like those are the big issues, and they're all HR.
I would agree with you there, and that's why we exist. We're here to help folks in any of those areas. Just learn a little bit more. Like we said before, somebody, whether it's the speaker of the session or somebody that you might meet at the round table or as you're walking around, has been through something that you're going through right now. And like we said, our community is very open and sharing and wanting to help you. So you will definitely walk away with 1, if not 50 ideas that you can take back to your organization to implement that change.
Yeah, for sure. And, one of the things that I find interesting about SHRM-Atlanta is, and last year's SOAHR experience was, you were looking for feedback. So you looked for feedback both during the event and after on what sessions worked, what sessions maybe didn't resonate, and what people wanted to see more of, maybe, or see for the first time, maybe. And so you've responded to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Yeah. So I think some of it, sometimes people show up to the conference not really knowing what they wanted. So I think a lot of the feedback that I saw was that people really appreciated the diverse offering of sessions, because they walked in thinking, I really only need to learn more about culture and how to work on my organization's culture, but they walked away with so much more information. So I think we're sticking to that and offering so many different diverse sessions and speakers that are coming to the table. But I think one that I would definitely highlight, we were asked to bring in more diversity, equity, and inclusion sessions, and we've done that. And not only that, but we're also going to offer that DEI summit that Jason talked about earlier.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big time upgrade there. Great work. Well, let's talk to folks that cannot make it, or maybe they're not comfortable yet being in person as this conference is. So you've made some allowances along those lines.
Yeah, definitely. So we recognize that there's still plenty of companies in the Atlanta area that are not quite ready to have people travel. So we will be offering a virtual version of SOAR, which will be April 18th and 19th. Virtual SOAR will have some sessions that happened at in-person SOAR, but there will also be some exclusive content at virtual SOAR. Now, the great thing is if you are able to attend in person, you are automatically registered for virtual. So you're getting 2 events for the price of one. But again, if you're not able to attend virtual SOAR, and that registration will be open soon.
And is virtual SOAR, does that have the same content, or is there different content? If I come in person and I miss something that I really wished I had gone to, will I be able to see what I missed at virtual SOAR?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing a little bit of a mix of both. So there will be some sessions for in-person SOAR that will be available at virtual SOAR, but there will be some exclusive content as well. So even if you go to every session or take notes and someone else from your company you spread the wealth and get everything you need from in-person SOAR, there will be some brand new opportunities at virtual SOAR. So there's still something new to learn there as well.
That's terrific. Now we need to give a shout out to sponsors, because sponsors are really what helps you give such a robust conference. So I'll let you take whatever time you want to do to give them a shout out and a thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We're certainly thankful to Kaiser Permanente, who has been a strong supporter of SHRM-Atlanta for many years, and they are always a strong supporter of SOAR, and they are again this year. So thank you to Kaiser Permanente for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Kaiser Permanente. We'll look forward to seeing you at SOAR. Well, I think this has been great, and I can't imagine that there aren't some folks that want to know more, but is there anything that we missed, Jason, Sameera, that we need to cover before we let you get back to the planning that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I do want to highlight, John, kind of as you mentioned, people are constantly giving us feedback, and we take that feedback and do what we can. When we made the announcement that we were moving to Gas South in Duluth, some folks were a little apprehensive because of that drive from the 75 side all the way up 85, and we get it. So our response to that is we are offering a classroom shuttle. So folks will be able to park at our office, which is in the Windy Hill area, board the bus, have breakfast, have some learning that's happening on the shuttle, and we'll get to ride over to Gas South. You won't have to sit in traffic. And at the end of the day, we will bring you back to our office. You can get in your car and go home for the day and join us on day 2. So we're really excited about that opportunity as well.
Oh, that's terrific. That bus will be in those express lanes going north on 85, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. Well, what another great feature, and what again, folks, what I found last year at SOAR 2022 is such a attendee friendly event. So if you are on the fence, or even if you're not on the fence about going, you need to get over the fence and go. I think you will be very glad that you did. But Sameera, let's give directions for folks that want to find out more information and, of course, want to register.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is soar.net. SOAHR.net. When you go on that page, you'll be able to see all of the sessions, the speaker names, some descriptions of the sessions, learn more about our keynote, those general sessions. And then from there, there's a big register button at the top of the page. So click that registration button and we'll see you there.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about SHRM-Atlanta, you can visit our general organization page, which is SHRM-Atlanta.org. There you'll find information about our organization and other things we do other than our events that might entice you to become part of our community.
Jason Cline and Sameera Luthur of SHRM-Atlanta, and of course running SOAR 2023. Jason, Sameera, a delight once again to be with you, and look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks.
Absolutely. We look forward to it, John. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And folks, just a reminder, I think you already heard, but we'll be there live. So interviewing on the floor, come by and see us, stop by, and we'd love to meet with you and chat with you. If we can get you behind the mic, we'd love to talk to you a little bit about you and your organization and have you join us. And just a reminder to our regular North Fulton Business Radio listeners, we're thankful for you. You have gotten us now. We're at 615 or so episodes of this series, and almost 7 years. Our 7th year anniversary is coming up here soon, and we're grateful to you, and I want you to know that. And you have shared the show when you thought that was appropriate, when you thought somebody needed to know more information about our guest. So please do that. Please do that for this show. If you know an HR leader that needs to hear about this conference and this organization, SHRM-Atlanta, please do so. We appreciate your help in that regard. So for my guest, Jason Cline and Sameera Luthur, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.